What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Bee Gees, and we're returning to Odessa, 1969, and as I have done in many Bee Gees reactions in recent months, I'd just like to give a shout out to all the folks who've helped with the Bee Gees material. We're talking Adam, we're talking Amy, we're talking Lisa, we're talking Kim. So yes, big shout out to all of you, and we are getting near the end of Odessa, the last few tracks, and we're up to Laugh in Your Face, which I mentioned seemed a very interesting, at least on the surface, contrast with the sentiment of the previous tune, With All Nations, an international anthem. So yes, I Laugh in Your Face. It sounds harsh, it sounds combative, or at least dismissive or aggressive. It's not saying I'm laughing with you or I'm laughing close to you, but laughing in someone's face typically means you're reveling in their misfortune or their embarrassment. It feels like there's a bit of schadenfreude there, so I do wonder if it actually will be that in the song. Sometimes superficially a track title might suggest a certain type of attitude, and then you hear the narrative or the larger scene being painted and it becomes a more complicated or nuanced phrase. But on the surface of it, again, it sounds aggressive, it sounds sharp and negative toward whoever is being laughed at or whose face is being laughed at. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Bee Gees. The track is I Laugh in Your Face, and it's from their 1969 album Odessa.
The circus is coming to see you. The elephant smiles, everybody can hear you. Say that's out of style.
A clown, maybe?
My brother is friendly for reasons. If I am the same, just for 400 seasons, we all live in rain. So I laugh in your face. You're only one race. Yes, I laugh in your face, and I'm right. You lie just like the rest, but there's nobody best. So I laugh in your face, and I'm right. I'll pull out your plug so you're small. You slide down the drain on the steps of St. Peter's. You all look the same.
Okay.
So I laugh in your face. You're only one race. Yes, I laugh in your face, and I'm right. You lie just like the rest, but there's nobody best. So I laugh in your face, and I'm right. The circus is coming to see you. The elephant smiles, everybody can hear you. Say that's out of style. So I laugh in your face. You're only one race. Yes, I laugh in your face, and I'm right. You lie
sonically rich tune, though it's interesting. There's a bit of that 60s rock feel, but it also has some elements that harken to their use of orchestral sounds and stylings, a lot of strings in that one. And yeah, lyrically, maybe it's not so far removed from the international anthem with the previous track, in the sense that if I'm hearing some of the lines right, it sounds like it's suggesting a singularity of all humanity and saying that we are all one race, and no matter who you are, what you look like, or where you come from, when you get up to the gates and St. Peter's steps, there's no difference. Like, everyone is sort of, put in the same category, and any trivial or earthly differences slide and melt away, and just the simple singular humanity remains. So it feels like it maybe is a sort of international or multicultural sentiment, and maybe suggesting that those who would tell you differently, those who see other people's prejudicially or with a discriminatory attitude, are mistaken, and that's the type of person in whose face they are laughing. So I don't know if I'm hearing all of the lines right, and certainly, the idea of the circus coming to town and the elephant smiling, I don't quite know how to interpret that, although, again, maybe the idea of a clown would be someone who'd be saying things that have now fallen out of style. So, yeah, I don't know. There's some lines here I'm not quite sure how to place if my larger interpretation is valid, but at least a couple of those lines that, it's all, you all come from the same race, and when you get up to the steps of St. Peter's, which, again, I'm thinking of the idea of the gates of heaven, then, there's those differences don't matter, and they're actually immaterial. So if I'm reading that right, there's some other lines that I don't quite know how to interpret, but I enjoy, again, the sort of bright, rich singing. Of course, that is a hallmark in nearly every one of their tracks, no matter which type of genre they're using or mixing with other sounds. Obviously, there have been some instrumentals, the Seventh Sea Symphony being a great example, but largely the rich vocal work of the Brothers Gibb is something that I admittedly knew going into this deep dive, though of course the degree to which I understand that in the different musical context in which I've heard it is far beyond anything I knew, but it is enjoyable to hear them with this like 60s rock, a bit of folk sounds, a bit of symphonic or orchestral sounds, and then that vocal pop flavor on top of it, so a nice blending and hybrid of some different musical elements. So another cool one. I do, as I said, Luca's like, what are you doing, man? I was getting comfortable, and then you make scary sounds. I apologize, Luca. You can rest once again. But yes, we only have a few left. Never Say Never Again. I'm trying to remember, did I react to that already? I know I reacted to some of their tracks that were on like a Bee Gees Volume 1, which was sort of like a greatest hits up until that point. So I feel like that phrase does sound familiar, so I'll have to check. I'm sure people will comment below, but before I do any further Bee Gees reaction, I'll check if any of the remaining three, which are Never Say Never Again, 1st of May, I feel like maybe I reacted to that one already, and then the British Opera, which I don't think I've reacted to. I would remember that phrase, so I'm curious about that one and whether we will hear some operatic singing. But yes, from the now comfortable again and somewhat loafish cat Luca and I will see you next time. Let me know what you think of this. Peace.